Welcome to First Presbyterian Church, the start of Holy Week, which is if you think about it, the most significant week in all of human history. And I know that's a lot to say in one statement. That's a big statement right there. But we think about it, all the things that have happened in human history, the great moments of human history, moving from an agrarian society to a urban dwelling society, or moving from the print era to the digital era, even moving from subsistence living to really market economy, or some of the great inventions of history, the wheel and the light bulb and penicillin, all of those things, those great things that are part of the human experience, they're all bound by time, matter, and space. And yet what this week is all about is not bound by time, matter, and space. We experience it that way, but it was about so much more. It was so much more cosmic in its scope. This is about eternal destinies. Everything that this week is about, as we think about Jesus entering into Jerusalem and all that he did there, his final meal with his friends, the trials, the arrest, the execution, his death, his burial, and his resurrection, it's the most significant week in all of human history. So what we want to do is we want to help you have a great experience of that week this year. And I know this is a weird year for us this year because we're kind of distancing ourselves with we're having only online services, but what we want to do each day is some of the staff want to bring you one devotional each day, a little 3 to 4 minute devotional each day, and some thoughts about whatever that day was about in Holy Week, to help you not only deepen your Holy Week experience, but also get you ready for having an awesome Easter Sunday. And I'm going to kick it off. I'm going to talk today about this day, about Palm Sunday. Palm Sunday, of course, gets its name from that moment where Jesus comes down from the Mount of Olives and is making his way into Jerusalem, that final week of his life here on earth. And they threw their cloaks down on the ground. They cut off the palm branches. They waved them in front of him, which is a sign of an entering dignitary that they were excited who was coming into town. And all 4 of the gospel writers who tell the story of the life of Jesus, they all tell this story of Jesus coming into Jerusalem, the triumphal entry as some call it. But only Matthew and John include a detail in the story how this moment was actually a fulfillment of another moment from the prophet Zechariah, out of Zechariah chapter 9. And what's really great about that, and the reason it's so important for us to have that in our minds, is because of what that passage would have meant to the Jewish audience who would have been experiencing that in the moment. That passage out of Zechariah 9 is a passage about the Messiah. It is a messianic expectation passage saying this is what the Messiah is going to be like. He will be a king who will come riding into town, but he will come riding into town in a humble way. He will come riding into town not on a war horse like a conquering war hero. He'll come riding into town on a donkey, which would have been a sign of peace. And you put that together, and what you have is on Palm Sunday, Jesus is the Messiah. Jesus is the one that the Jews were expecting. He is the deliverer, and he is the one who is coming bearing a message, bringing a message of peace with God, peace with one another, and peace within. So I want to leave you with that thought. Jesus he is the Messiah, he is the deliverer, and he is coming to your life as well, bringing you a message of peace. I hope that helps get your Holy Week started. Have a great, holy, deep, meaningful, awesome Holy Week.